All right, friends, we back with a new video that JasonBlaha just uploaded for us to review. Gotta thank the guy, man, making more crazy videos to review. I'm just gonna enjoy this one, man. He's been watching my videos for sure, because somebody just mentioned it to me. Man, this guy's too much. Okay, JasonBlaha says, how our ancestors ate is irrelevant to discussions of health and fitness. I know, because it doesn't fit in with the modern world, right? The marketing to sell you shit. Okay, let's hear what he has to say.
Hey everybody, it's JasonBlaha here today. I thought I would sit down and discuss a topic with you guys and gals. Let me get a sip of my water first. Get my radio voice going, and let's talk about this, because this is the sort of argument I get all the time to any sort of nutrition stuff I put in a video. The sort of arguments people make, and it's the sort of arguments they make on the internet. Our ancestors didn't eat that way. This tribe in Alaska didn't eat that way. Homo erectus didn't eat that way. Our ancient ancestors 17 million years ago didn't eat that way. Natural is better.
We didn't eat that. We didn't eat that way. Here's the thing. It's not the fact that we didn't eat that way. The stuff that we're doing now is unnatural. Farming is an unnatural thing. It's not natural. It cannot be found. Farming cannot be found in nature. See what I mean? It doesn't exist. And half the farming, the plants that we farm, these fruits and vegetables, they too cannot be found in nature. So I don't know what he's talking about, but whatever.
That's all complete nonsense. Like, it doesn't matter.
But animals, they don't really change. They're just animals. We're just not eating those wild animals. We're farming the animals. In other words, we rally them up and we just, cows, I don't know, sheep, goats, and, those types. We're not eating all the other types. So we're just eating certain types. Okay.
Literally doesn't matter what those people ate. That's not a relevant argument.
Okay, it doesn't matter what they ate. But does it matter now that we're eating an unnatural diet? You understand me? That is the question. What they ate in the past, they ate that in the past for sure. They hunted, they ate animals, that's what they ate. That sustained them. They didn't lose their teeth. They didn't see a doctor, a dentist, a pharmacy, a health food store, any of this bullshit. It's kind of obvious. Being natural is how you, that's how you sustain health. Being natural, eating a natural diet. But when you move out of the realm of natural into the unnatural world, that's when all the trouble starts. So people are kind of looking out into the natural world and telling you that we didn't eat like that. It's kind of obvious because we're eating something unnatural and it's causing us unnatural problems.
What is healthy or fit?
Looking for dinner ideas? Sorry, we only do dessert.
Or will increase your lifespan, lower your diabetes, lower your cancer, lower your body fat.
No cancer, no diabetes, no nothing. If you eat a natural diet, you're not going to suffer from any of those things. You won't have all those problems. The problems start when you start eating artificial things. These artificial things that people are eating out there. Get it?
Muscle. That's all completely irrelevant. Do you want to know what's relevant?
It's completely relevant. Eating unnatural things will cause these problems. That's the problem.
What lowers or raises cancer? That's what's relevant.
You want to know what's relevant, man? You're not going to have cancer or raise it or anything. Here's what's relevant. Prevention is relevant. Not, I got to wait till I get cancer, this and that, and got to lower it. You understand me? Prevention. It is unnatural to farm. It is unnatural to do any of these things. They're not natural. See what I mean? It is natural to procreate and make kids and to hunt and to eat. And that's it. That's natural, being in nature. But being in a natural environment, farming to feed the collective and all this kind of stuff, it's an unnatural environment you live in. So you're going to suffer from very unnatural means of who knows what.
What makes you fat versus makes you lose fat? That's what's relevant. Okay? We have,
What makes you fat? Then losing fat? That's relevant. He's an expert because he got fat eating an unnatural diet. And then what did he do? Lower the calories of the same unnatural diet and look even more shittier than the last time. Sarcopenia and a whole bunch of shit. And then he's going to blame about everybody's on drugs. Yeah, okay. He's on drugs.
modern science and the ability to study this. Furthermore, not one of you.
He's the most unnatural guy I know. Blaha. Look at him. He eats a most unnatural diet. He lifts man-made weight, okay, which is really crazy too. That's unnatural. What else does he do? He takes drugs. It's unnatural to be injecting yourself with steroids. All these things are all unnatural. That's why he looks the way he does, messed up.
Not a single one of you, unless you are insanely rich, even has the ability to eat like whatever specific group you're talking about. You don't.
If you have money in this unnatural world, then you have choices. You can eat the most natural food that you could possibly get with your money. You would probably buy a ranch and maybe kill some wild game out there. I don't know. Yeah, most rich people who live a very natural. I mean, even the Liver King. You look at him. None of you people eat like him or live like him. He's a multimillionaire. He's got a ranch and this and that. He's probably eating wild game and everything. Notice the guy cooking for him, Chef Nigel. All the food they cook for him. These foods that they make for him. I don't know about all the other unnatural stuff that Liver King is doing. There's some natural stuff there, and then there's some very unnatural stuff there. You don't understand me? It's a combination of both. That's why he's running into problems, because he's injecting unnatural things in his body because he's trying to entertain you and make money at the same time.
Just stop. You know, but people make these arguments, and it comes back to this idea that natural is better, and it's like, so you want to die by age 35? So for me, as someone who looks at data, looks at numbers, looks at these things, cares about it, when someone says, I want to eat the way my ancestors ate because natural, what I hear is you want to be dead by 35.
What? That sounds stupid. That's the most stupidest thing I've ever heard. Look, man. It's a possibility. People moved around. They might have drank some water, got some bacteria. Water was a big factor for people. They got sick eventually, especially these city people. But if you're living near a stream, a mountain, clean water is running down. You have clean water. You can drink it. You can eat animals off the land. But once, populations grew and then we tried to settle, that's when we ran into problems. Yeah. We died young and had all kinds of ailments and sicknesses because we were too close to each other and living in these villages and whatever. And then we started farming. That even got worse.
Is your goal. Cause and effect. So if you have a group of people whose average lifespan was 35 years old and you imitate their lifestyle.
But it wasn't. They had these shorter lifespans when they started. It's a known fact. They said in Egypt over a couple thousand years ago, they said they started eating bread. They ate a slave diet, these people, a lot of them. And they got these diseases. Even the pharaohs started partaking in it. They started eating that type of food and they ran into diseases. They didn't have them when they ate their natural diet.
My assumption is that that's your goal. Obviously, that's what your goal is.
My goal is not to feed lions an unnatural diet, so they die. They die from fucking diseases and shit, unnatural shit. Get it? We're not trying to turn them into vegans, and if you do, they'll get sick and die early.
Right? Why would it be anything else? That's the only thing that makes sense. So that's the only possible logical answer. Or the only answer is that person's just stupid and they don't know any better. Because they're going to just ignore science, they're going to ignore research and just say, yeah, whatever, this is what this, but then they don't look ever at which group. Do you even have the same gene set? Not that that even matters, but you'll see these arguments all the time. Even the worst one.
Everything matters.
No other animal, the vegans will pull this one, so I'm going to go to the other extreme, away from the crazy.
Man, I'm eating a huge ribeye steak. It's amazing, bro. I'm telling you, it's so delicious. I have to keep eating because I just have to, even when I'm making the video, because that's the only time I can do it. I don't have time for everything. I'm so busy.
Carnivore side. Vegans will, no other animal drinks milk. Well, actually, they will give it a chance. But humans, as if that's relevant. Okay? My response would be, so if scientists, and my response to any of these would be, if scientists invented a serum that they found lowers all-cause mortality and reverses the aging process enough that the average person who took it lived to be 200 years. And they had good data.
We're living long now, but we can live longer. We live long now because we have clean water and it's sanitary, okay? This environment here is sanitary. But I doubt that we live as long as we did as people from way back long time ago. And you'll never know how long the natives lived in North America because there's no records of them. Because they killed their food supply, the bison. There was stories, they said they lived to over 150. Maybe they lived to 250, maybe 500. I can't really tell you for sure. I wasn't there. I can't witness it. And I guess the Americans, they don't want you to witness it either. They don't want you to know. Why would they kill all the bison? Think about it. Why would they go there, central United States, and kill all the bison, like literally like slaughter them? What was the reason behind it? Why would you do that? Why would any government or anybody go and slaughter all these bison to the point where they were almost extinct? That doesn't make any sense. There was something there. They made a finding and they were jealous. Maybe what they found were these people were living quite long, couple of 100 years, eating bison. That's what they discovered, because the Europeans, they were already farming and destroying themselves, living in these weird fucking colonies and weird shit and everything. And the natives, when they came here in America, they were living a very natural lifestyle off the land. See what I mean?
Well, this looks like it's going to be the case. Would your counter argument be, no animal in nature takes a serum that does that? Would your response be, Homo erectus 5 million years ago didn't have that? Old age of 30, the way God intended.
I don't know about 30. What about going back about 10,000 years before they started eating bread and all these weird things? Let's go back then, Mr. Blaha. What do you think they were doing then when, maybe 20,000 years ago? Humans, 20,000 years ago. Humans, 20,000 years ago. What do you think they were doing, what they were eating? How long do you think they lived? Do you have any proof that they just died at 30? You have no proof of nothing. You're making up stuff, man. I'm pretty sure they lived quite well and long. We wouldn't be here if they didn't.
Let's go to Homo sapiens.
He's so arrogant, this guy, man. He's so crazy.
Paleolithic man on the edge of the Caucasus Mountains didn't eat that way 20,000 years ago.
No, of course not. You know what they ate 20,000 years ago? Snicker bars and fucking Coffee Crunch and fucking, I don't know, Coca-Colas all day. Cheetos, chips, and fucking who knows what. And a bunch of fruit, engineered fruit, and fucking salads and shit all day, right? Right, Blaha?
They didn't have that serum, and they're dead at an average age of 35. Okay, so that's cool. The people who want to take that logic, go ahead and...
Why would they die at the age of 35? What makes you say that? Any proof? You fabricated that. You made that up, that they died at 35. You have no proof that people died 20,000 years ago at 35. You fucking fabricated that to corroborate your fake story now, to try to convince people into your bullshit.
Die at 35 and let the rest of us live, right? That would be my response to anyone who wants to emulate any of this nonsense. Okay, cool. So quit taking antibiotics, because that's not natural.
They didn't take antibiotics. They didn't need them. They didn't need them. What did they need them for? Exactly. You could survive if you get a bacterial infection and stuff. Your body will clear it up if you're healthy. If you're unhealthy, Like you go to the doctor some of the times to get medication just to cure yourself really quickly of something. Because you're lazy. You want it to go fast, but you never needed the medicine to begin with. Your body would have fought it off.
You know, it's natural and it's paleo and it's caveman and it's ancestral that when you get a major infection, you're supposed to die from it.
They don't know about that.
Your body goes septic and you die. That's what's supposed to happen. When you start, it's not natural to put an antibiotic in there.
Yeah, but they didn't. Yeah, but they didn't go septic then. They didn't have these problems. I had an infection one time. I didn't take any antibiotics, and it didn't go septic. I had ear infections. Never went to the doctor. They didn't go septic. They just went away by themselves. I just gave it some time, and it went away. So he's lying to you. He's lying. He's making the shit up.
Hey, chemicals. Chemicals. I mean, that's really how you guys sound. Chemicals are from the devil. You're supposed to die and go be with Jesus as soon as you get a major infection. Okay, cool. So when your 7-year-old kid gets an infection, is that what you're going to do? Or are you going to go to the doctor and you're going to have them give them medicine so they don't die? Some of them evil chemicals. I mean, but it's that stupid. It is that stupid of an argument. Like, what? But on top of it, they don't even bother to look further. Like I made one a while back, and then I said, even in there, it's not relevant. We actually have good data now starting to show that Paleolithic man ate about 80% plant, about 20% animal. Okay, cool. But see, here's the thing.
If he ate any plants, most likely it was because he was starving. The animals ran away or something. Oh, come on, man. Give me a break, bro. This is ridiculous.
I only think that's interesting because that's kind of what I told people was probably the rough range for health. I just thought that was interesting after the fact. But I also said it's not relevant because that group didn't live that long. Okay? Humans just didn't live that long through those sort of time periods without modern medicine. And that's the problem with any dietary approach. You know, same thing when people start talking about the Homo erectus being a super carnivore. Well, one, they're not even human by any definition. They weren't even intelligent enough to speak as far as we could tell. Right? They wouldn't even be able to converse. They didn't have the cognitive ability to do that. But they didn't live long enough to have heart attacks. They didn't live long enough to have strokes and atherosclerosis. They just died too young, so it didn't matter.
How does he know this? How does he know all this stuff, man? That they lived that long or short or didn't have time to have a heart attack. He's fabricating this stuff. There's no proof. There's nothing. He doesn't have anything. He's fabricating it.
And it's the same with a lot of the paleo stuff. I mean, we could look at things and say, hey, that's well and good, but it's just a data point. It's not an argument. Look at what's happening in the lab, what we see in the lab. Look at the epidemiology studies of who lives the longest, who has the lowest rates. And it's pretty clear what sort of variety of eating patterns produce that. Okay? Generally carbs highest, then protein, then fat. Saturated fats are low.
That's absolutely a lie. This is pure lie, man. This guy is so unnatural. This guy's lying to you. He's totally unnatural.
Sugars are nearly non-existent. Okay? Added fats are simply very rarely there. The only cultures that do might be like...
Let me get this straight. So if you eat an unnatural diet engineered by man and all that, you're going to live longer. You're going to live longer if you eat these engineered foods. So if you, as long as you don't eat any natural foods that are good for you, that are healthy for you, don't eat natural, eat unnatural, because JasonBlaha says that's what makes you live longer. Yeah, that's why everybody's suffering from more diseases and are dying more now than they've ever died before.
A Mediterranean type diet with extra virgin olive oil, but even then their overall diet is still not that high in fat. And most of the fat that's there is healthy fat. Not coming from animals. And if it is, it's from fish. The rest is somewhat moderated.
Yeah. It's coming from animals, man. They even in McDonald's, they still miss that tallow, the French fries being made in tallow, and a bunch of other stuff. Animal fat is the best, okay?
Lots of plants. This is what we know works. Okay? The healthiest cultures on earth eat, and the longest lived people, based upon what we've seen, then when you look at the studies in the metabolic ward, it becomes clear why. There are certain patterns that are absolutely very distinctive and measurably there. Okay?
That's an absolute lie. He's going to convince you that plants are healthy for you. They're toxic. They're unhealthy for you. It's a known fact. This is total bullshit, man. This guy's full of shit.
It doesn't matter what some other group of people ate ancestrally. It's completely irrelevant.
It's irrelevant not to eat anything that is unnatural. How about that? It is relevant to eat things that are natural. And then, oh, well, it's unrelevant that we're eating unnatural food. Okay, whatever.
Keep in mind, even if it was relevant, our gene flow as a species has changed as a result of the agricultural age. It has completely changed even our...
It hasn't. It hasn't changed us at all. It even says it doesn't change you epigenetically. It does not change you. If anything, these plants are poisonous. They're just eating poison. It's just fucking killing you slowly.
Digestive enzymes. Okay? It just has.
No, he's lying.
We're not technically entirely identical anymore to that species in terms of those things. And neither are...
How do you know that? He's making this stuff up. We're not technically identical to these species and this and that. You don't know anything about any species or anything. You know that? Fuck, man. This is such bullshit.
Our pets. Right?
Whatever.
That's even been studied. Their digestive enzymes.
Blaha is the most unnatural human I've ever seen on this planet.
Dogs, which are genetically wolves, by the way. They're completely wolves. That is where they came from.
Dogs are genetically wolves, yes, because you've been breeding them. That's all. They're animals. They can have sex with other animals. That's how you breed them.
We bred them from wolves. Even their GI tract has changed by living with us in the post-agrarian age or post-agricultural.
No, their GI tract hasn't changed. They're carnivores. Dogs are carnivores.
Like enormous differences between them and a wolf in terms of their digestive system. They're still the same species.
No.
All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that.
He's crazy. He thinks that our digestive system has changed like these so-called dogs and oh yeah, it's changed. Yeah. We we've this and that and whatever. You haven't adapted to it. There's no I've adapted to this stuff. It's your body, it didn't adapt by creating a 4-stage stomach, unfortunately. You still have the same stomach, so it didn't adapt. What it is doing is it's tolerating. Your body is tolerating and going crazy, trying to, like, what is this poison food, Snicker bars and chips and shit and everything, and these weird tofu and pastas going in the belly. And it's all over the place. Your T cells, this, that, your microbiome, they're all over the place. They're like, what the hell is going on here? That's why people are having so many problems, psychologically, emotionally, this, that, anger issues, and blah, blah, blah. Hormonal issues, there are imbalances, a whole bunch of things, man. People are suffering out there. You just don't have any idea. People are suffering and suffering. Their diets make them suffer. They become fucking, how should I put it? I had a friend. He started drinking a bottle of wine every single day the last year. And then he just started to sleep in the wintertime. He slept. He didn't want to get up. He slept himself to death. He slept and died. Yeah, and he was depressed because the food, the alcohol, the poison, he ate too much poisonous food and drinking more plant poisons and everything else. And that eventually it diminished him. It wore him out. He became completely docile, whatever, lazy, slept and wouldn't get up, and then boop, he just disappeared. Into the wind, he died. That's what happens. It's happening to a lot of the generation now. Believe me, look around. The deaths are up very high and it keeps climbing. Nobody's worried about that? I don't know. People are not having children. They're not procreating. What's going on? Nobody's asking any questions. What's going on? AI now is new. They don't need us anymore, right? AI. They got AI. As soon as AI came out, don't need human race anymore. Why did COVID come out? What was the purpose of it? Where did it really come from? Why was it there? See what I mean? Why would something happen? Why would somebody leak something from a lab if it's supposed to be in a lab? None of that makes any sense, but I'll see you in the next one. You tell me what you think about that. Like, subscribe, support the channel, bro. I can't tell you about conspiracy theories, this, that. My friend, he died, I don't know. He had a heart attack a couple years ago. They gave him some stents, a defibrillator. But if he had a weak heart, why didn't the defibrillator jolt the heart? I don't know what happened to him. I don't know what happened to him. Did he go to the hospital? Did he call? He went to the hospital. Maybe they killed him in the hospital for all I know, because it didn't work. It's something fishy there. And then they cremated his body the very next day so quickly. They said he died, and that's it, boom. It's very all unusual behavior, what's going on these days. They don't want you out there anymore. They don't need people, I guess. I don't know. They need a reduced population. Listen to Bill Gates. First he says we want populations up. Now he says they need to be reduced. And we need to reduce the animals and human population. Wow, that's really crazy. I'll see you in the next one, man. You tell me what you think about that. Like, subscribe, support the channel.